Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Middle East Midnight Sessions, Season 4. um, Grabe guys, ninenervyos ako. Kasi, I'm not gonna lie to you. Bigat. Bigat niya. Kasi like an hour earlier, um, I just noticed na meron na pala akong schedule for a consult, for a psychiatric consult sa PGH sa may Padre Fauci sa may Maynila. I've been to the place technically, pero hindi naman ako nakapasok. But I know the route kasi pumunta ako doon to like finish up some internship stuff sa dati kong workplace. Nagkataon na may protest sila. And may internship coordinator was like, sumama ka na. Sama ka sa amin. We'll just be there for like a quick event and then we'll leave then soon after and tingnan natin kung masisingit natin yung interview Kemperlo na yan. Eh di ayun na nga. So technically I've been there. And hindi ko alam na this was already scheduled like exactly a week ago. Kung naano nyo sa last episode, parang iyak ako ng iyak. Like grabe yung yung bigat para sa akin. Syempre, siguro magaling ako magdala, so like hindi napapansin ng iba. And honestly, parang I feel guilty kasi well, part of it is di ko naman deserve So and another part of it is parang but hindi pa mas naging malala yung nangyari sa akin per se. Parang all I could think of is sana mas malala. Kasi parang I feel guilty na I got away unscathed. Walang nangyaring masama, walang nangyaring penetration whatsoever. Yes pala, by the way, this will be a trigger warning. Nakalimutan ko. Trigger warning pala ang episode na to. And also the previous episode, I need if you're gonna listen to that episode, there's a trigger warning. Ngayon, like I always felt like I carried that guilt. Parang ngayon lang siya naging mas prevalent, kumbaga. I've always had the thought na ganun kalala, I would say. I've always had the thought na sana mas malala yung nangyari sa akin. And hindi madaling mag-isip ng gano'n, like, wow, parang, alam mo yun, like, somebody like you thinks like that. Pero hindi nyo naman gets kasi ang naisip ko is if mas malala yung nangyari sa akin, siguro maririnig ako. Siguro, maintindihan nila kung bakit I prefer to like isolate myself when dealing with my problems. Parang ayoko magpapasok ng tao. Unless, they're I'm sorry. Unless they're worth it. Twist kasi tong na to. Lamok ba yun o langaw o a month, I don't know. I don't really care. Pero yun nga, parang, um, nakaka, nakaka-guilty talaga. Alam mo naman na hindi, I mean, logically is, hindi mo dapat siya iisipin. Logically is, you should be like, grateful na wala nangyari sa masama. Pero hindi eh. Siguro nga kaya, kasi walang malalang nangyari sa akin, is it makes me feel bad about my experience na parang matik invalid na siya. And ito yung hindi ko masabi-sabi sa mga sa mga, I would say my friends. But most especially to my best friend. My boy best friend, Brad. Oh yeah, parang mas fit. Mas fit yung title na yung boy best friend. Kasi alam mo yun, parang di mo naman deserve. Di mo deserve mag-isip na ganyan, pero like, you don't know. Parang, imagine if sabihin ko yun sa kanila. Grabe, ang lala naman, di ba? And nagsusulat din ako kanina ng thesis ko. Natapos ko na yung transcript, which is a huge win. Natapos ko na siya. And sabi ko, parang, tinitingnan ko yung revision ng thesis. Like, yung current revision niya. Kasi like may mga relevant na info na initially nandun sa article ko, pero pang yun nga, the more that I wrote it, kasi the more na hindi siya nag-align with the vision. So sabi ko, i-revise ko yung RRL. I-revise ko yung RRL para ma-reflect yung change. Pero ngayon naman is medyo naman problema din ako kasi di ko, parang kumbaga, the way that I want to write it is not aligning with the vision na meron yung advisor ko. Pero ika nga, like, I remember her saying na, kwento mo naman yan. And, parang, kwento ko naman siya, technically. Parang, pero at the same time, hindi ko lang siya basta kwento this time. Parang, kwento na rin siya nung mga participants na na-interview ko, and I'm just kind of like writing them. Nasabi to nung isang participant ko na parang you have to value their stories, you have to give their stories justice. And ako bilang journalist. Journalist! Oh my God! Diba? It still feels weird na pang tinatawag nila ako na journalist, na like, estudyante pa lang ako. Nag-aaral lang ako ng journalism, and I've like dabbled into the world itself. And by the way, umalis na ako. I decided to leave. I think it was last week. I decided to leave. Kasi, number one, ayoko silang isama sa problema ko na, problema ko yun, So, para sa akin, hindi siya viable to have them with me. Or like, kumbaga, hindi ako, parang, mas okay na umalis na ako, mag-voluntary resignation ako kasi wala ako sa tamang headspace to even think straight talaga. Especially last week. Wala ako sa tamang headspace. And I think even now, wala pa rin ako sa tamang headspace kasi I'm still processing a lot of stuff na, alam mo yun, like, ang daming bagay na ngayon ko lang parang naintindihan kung bakit nangyari yun or bakit ko naisipang itago yun. And speaking of, yun yung isa ko pang guilt na parang ang naisip ko is yun nga, parang I keep being a burden to other people na nakakahiya mag-reach out. So, parang nagigilty ako. Kahit na alam ko dapat naman mag-reach out, kaso nagigilty talaga ako. Parang, sabi nga ni Jaya last week, parang, kaya nga kami nandito, we want to help you, we want to make sure na makalabas ka na dyan. Yun yung sabi niya. Pero parang, the way that I think about it is, I would say parang mahirap din to like even get over it. Kasi parang, yun yung siste parang gusto mo na mag-get over. Kaso, pag ganun kasi nangyari sa'yo, ang hirap Hindi siya ganun kadali to like even move on from that. I wish it was. I really do. Like, I really, really do. Pero I'm sorry it fucks you up for life Can you blame me? Can you blame me for thinking na ang hirap mag-get over, ang hirap maghilom? Nung, like, alam mo yun, parang it's adding insult to injury, it's adding salt to the wound. Na, minsan naiisip mo rin, am I too much? Am I being too much of a person to be dealt with? Kasi ang hirap hindi naman siya basta-basta ano lang Kung, the way that I see my thesis kasi is hindi siya basta-basta thesis lang. Parang in a way, I'm also telling my story through that thesis And naalala ko, with the interview last week, I still have it I still remember everything that happened that day. Especially mga major moments. Naalala ko pa rin siya. Naisip ko pa rin siya. And nagigilty ako. Nagigilty ako na nagtramadam pa ako. Even though like, technically, dapat hindi naman. Pero kasi, pinapaintindi ko yung dahilan kung bakit yun yung topic na napili ko. Pero balikan nyo na lang yung season premiere ng season 2. Ayoko na mag-explain. Pero kasi yun yung yung in-explain ko sa interview ko. And parang naisip ko pa rin yung reactions ko. Self-aware, I would say yes. Self-aware akong tao. Alam, like, somehow na-observe ko rin yung mga ginagawa ko, reactions ko. I wouldn't say I'm very in tune with myself. Pero napapansin ko yung pagkabalisa ko. Napapansin ko yung hiya. Which is the most prevalent emotion out of all of this. It's really the shame na ang dami kong kinahihiya na hindi madaling i-explain sa ibang tao kung bakit ka nahihiya. Bakit ka nahihiya pakita yung mukha mo? For one. Pero the main reason for that is natatakot ka kasi ma-judge ka ng ibang tao. Kasi nga, walang nangyari sa iyo masama. Ba't mo tinatawag na sexual assault yan? Pero like, alam ko. Alam ko. Pero kasi like, putting a word to it, putting a definite word to it. Parang makes that pain real eh. It, it, it kind of hones itself. Na, parang, pag binigyan mo kasi ng, ng meaning, it kind of takes on a new life. Parang ganon. So when I say na I was sexually assaulted, it's really to make that pain feel. Na okay, hindi ako nagpe-pretend lang na or siguro kasi ganito akong tao eh. Like, I'm a very jolly person. I'm very energetic. Parang walang minuto na hindi ako kagano. Like, hindi ako masayahing tao. Pero ngayon, mahirap nang itago yun. Like, mahirap na magtago sa likod nun. Kasi, wala na, you've reached a breaking point eh. And like you're hoping na sana makita nila na na yun yung nararamdaman mo, na sorry kasi ganito ganyan. Nagigilty ako na hindi na naman ako makakagraduate this year. Oh, sobrang guilty ako dun. Kasi, nasabi nga ni Chiaya nun na dapat sabay tayong ka-graduate. I know. I know, but I think the silver lining about this is hindi siya madaling proseso. Hindi madaling hilumin yung mga sugat na hindi mo naman alam nandun. Or rather, you let it proliferate, kumbaga. Nanana na siya ngayon. Ganon. Para siyang nana ngayon na kailangan mong puksain. Pero kailangan mo ring pigsa rather. Para siyang pigsa na kailangan mong ingatan. Pero kasi parang the way that it feels is parang siyang it's about to burst. I think it's already burst. I think it really came to a head nung interview na yun eh. Kasi yun yung first time na naging sobrang vulnerable talaga ako. Sobrang fragile. Na I had no choice but to like sakto kasi kasabay ko siya umuwi nun. Parang sabi ko I'm so spent. Like, naramdaman ko yung bigat nung pag-share ng ganong kwento sa tao na hindi ko naman masyadong kilala ha. Naramdaman ko yung bigat nun. Like, it really weighed on me heavily. Parang, nung nakaupob na ako, parang there was like a, parang, I wouldn't say a barbell, parang more, alam niyo yung yung parang kettlebell ata yun, na biglang hinulog sa'yo, like, it was dropped on you, and then, nakaganon ka lang, nakaupob ka lang. You can't even look at the other person. Sa sobrang hiya mo. Even nga nung pagpunta ko ng school nitong Lunes, sabi ko parang ayokong magtanggal. I mean, I just want to keep wearing a mask. Hindi dahil may sakit ako. Pero kasi nahihiya ako. Grabe yung hiya ko sa sarili ko. Na, grabe pa. Pinabot ko ng ilang taon. Dapat graduate na ako last year. Kaso pinabot ko pa ng ilang taon eh. Wala eh. Parang, pero that's also kasi the downside of of a journey na um, na gusto mo malaman yung mga sagot sa mga tanong na hindi mo alam kung paano sasagutin. Yun yung downside nun, is that it really takes time to find these answers. And that's what most people do not understand. Na hindi lang yung hiya, hindi lang yung hiya in two different spectrums. Hiya na coming from shame and hiya na coming from embarrassment. And the guilt of it all. Na I've had like really like these thoughts of like sana mas malala yung nangyari sa akin. They're recurring eh. They've recurred. Pero especially nowadays, nagre-recur talaga siya. And ayoko siyang I wouldn't say like hadlang siya. Pero kasi if I left myself dealing with it alone, it's gonna reach another breaking point and parang ayoko din. Ayoko din, nakakalungkot na hinayaan ko sarili kong mag-reach ng ganon, na ganon kalala yung sa'yo, yung epekto nun sa'yo. Hindi mo na-realize until a certain point eh. Like, there was a time, well, Omnipotent was what inspired. The panic attack na nangyari nung third year ako was the event that inspired Omnipotent, and all these songs were written just for you in the first place. Pero it was real. It happened eh. But it was one-off. It was a one-off event. It was a rare reaction. Pero lang siya eh. Isang beses lang. Dalawang beses lang siya nangyari. Kasi parang after nun, naging busy na eh. So, parang ngayon na talagang nag-slow down na ako. Like, now that everything's basically slowed down on my end, not having much to do besides my thesis and my internship. Parang, yun, gusto ko na lang, like, paano ba to? Like, nasa-slow, yung, the way that things have slowed down in the past few months really has enabled me to think of a lot of things eh. Kaya nga somehow natagalan din ako ba makakuha ng second participant eh. August pa yung first participant ko. August ko pa siya na-interview. Pero nakuha ko lang yung second participant ko last month. And nakuha ko lang yung third ko recently. So just imagine like how long I've had to think about things. Sabi ko nga dun sa email ko sa best friend ko na okay lang kahit hindi ako makagraduate this year. Kasi, it really gives me time to think things over na, baka hindi ako handa magkwento. Kasi gusto ko, pag nag-present ako sa defense na yun, ready ako magkwento eh. Kasi yun yung dahilan kung bakit yun nangyari in the first place. Gusto ko ipaintindi. Lalo na sa mga taong hindi ako kilala. Kasi may mga profs ako doon na hindi ko talaga kilala at all ha. At all. Kasi nga, wala na akong iniisip bukod sa thesis ko, bukod sa internship ko. Wala na talaga. So, siguro kilala nila ako, pero kilala ba talaga nila ako bilang tao? Kilala ba nila yung sweet side ko, yung generous side ko? Hindi naman eh. Ang nakikita lang nila, like, yung active sa discussion, gaya nung last month, nung seminar, yun. Or, like, yun yung sinasabi ko noon, na parang estranghero ako doon. Sure, napunta ako doon paminsan-minsan. Ngayon, nagiging weekly na siya. Kasi nag-aasikaso na nga ng thesis and all. Pero parang ang bigat sa akin ng pakiramdam na parang estranghero ako doon. Ang bigat ng pakiramdam na parang invader ako, kumbaga. I'm an alien, I'm a colonizer. Yun. Para akong alien. Para akong impostor. I know na hindi ko dapat ramdam yun. Alam ko naman, kasi estudyante pa rin ako doon technically. Pero, it just felt like a different world eh. Tapos, parang pagpasok ko sa loob ng faculty na yun, I'm just like, parang akong alien. Ito din yung di maintindihan nila eh. Na, the thing about me is, I've always felt like an imposter eh. No matter where I go, no matter who I befriend, it's always the feeling na impostor ka. Hindi ka belong doon. So, parang, naisip ko, what's the point? I still feel guilty na, na wala akong masyadong kaibigan, I would say. Bibukin mo yung mga kaibigan ko ngayon, mas matatanda pa sa akin, mas bata pa sa akin minsan, pero madalas nun mas matatanda eh. Like my best friend. He's like nearing 30, o diba? Kuya ko na siya, may jowa pa, o diba? It's giving. Pero kasi yun eh, parang ang guilty din nung part na yun, na bakit ang hirap makahanap ng mga kaibigan na alam mong would stick by you. Mentor, sure, I can turn to my profs now. Paano nagiging mentor ko na sila. Pero, alam mo yun, just friends of the same age, or not even of the same age, but of the same wavelength. Paano? Like, sabi nila find your people daw eh. Ilang tao, buong buhay ko naghahanap ako ng mga tao, pero wala talaga. Parang ayoko nang sumubok kasi wala na eh. Wala nang point. There's no point. Sabi ko nga nun, 24 pa lang ako. Sabi ko sa interviewee ko. Sabi ko, 24 pa lang ako. And ang sakit nun, nakaka-guilty yun. Kasi, di mo naman ine-expect na ganun nakabigat yung pinagdadaan mo. 24 ka pa lang. Diba? parang, honestly, like, nagigilty din ako. Parang may survivor's guilt doon. Kasi, not in the literal sense na pang nag-survive ka na ikaw lang mag-isa yung nabuhay, hindi. Uh, yung survivor's guilt na bakit hindi to nangyari sa'yo? Bakit hindi in the context of, the experience is bakit hindi malala yung nangyari? Parang naisip ko like, sorry ha sa mga, again, there's a trigger warning at the very beginning of this episode and sa description nito na sana ni-rape na lang ako, ganyan. 'Di ba? Parang, I've had the thought sana ni-rape na lang ako. Total, wala naman akong choice. So, sana tinuloy mo na. Hindi. I got away. Parang, imagine if hindi nakita ni mama yun. Parang I feel bad nga na nakita niya pa na ganun yung nangyayari. Tapos, I feel guilty din na kinailangan kong itago lahat yun. Na kailangan kong magkunwari. That I had to put on a brave face. I feel guilty about that. And ngayon na parang hindi ko na kayang magkunwari. Ayoko nang sabihin nila na pasayahin akong tao, very sweet, very kind, very generous, whatever. Kung ano man positive na sasabihin nila sa akin. Kasi ito na talaga yun parang wala na mas lalala pa siguro sa current situation ko ngayon. Na ganun na lang siya kahirap i-process. Kasi all this time, you had to repress everything just to survive. And I feel guilty about that. Kasi all I could do was just show how excited I was about releasing music or surprising people, appreciating my friends, ganyan. And wala, parang sabi ko parang naawa na lang din talaga ako sa sarili ko that things had to get worse. Things had to get really bad for me to realize na I can't really fake it anymore. Kasi yun yung parang maskara ko yun yung pagiging masayahin ko, yun naging maskara ko I think it is still a part of me, pero I had to hide behind that. Kasi I don't want people to know na ganito yung iniisip niya, ganito yung pinagtataanan niya. And siguro ngayon pinaparap na sa akin yung totoong nararamdaman ko. Like for now, parang kailangan kong maramdaman siya. Not just for my teenage self, but siguro para din, sabi nga nung best friend ko, maging okay na ako. Pero ewan ko, parang I think I'll never be okay Kasi ayoko, parang part of it, ayoko maging okay. Parang siguro it's really the matter of learning how to live with it. Talaga. It's really a matter of learning how to live with that reality. Kasi yun yung reality na kailangan mong harapin na I don't say survivor kasi that feels definitive, that feels like an end. So, sinasabi ko, biktima ako. Yun yung, that's the way I see it eh. Parang sabi ko, hindi pa tapos. Parang hindi matatapos. Yung, yung, how would I say this? Like, hindi pa tapos eh. I don't think it's ended. Siguro pag, like, I would say na survivor ako, like, I survived that, is when I know I'm definitely healed. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So years, I still, I used to see myself as a survivor. Pero the more that I learn about what I think, what I believe, hindi siya nag-a-align sa principles. So sabi ko, ayoko, parang wala akong choice but to refer myself as a victim. Kasi yun talaga yun eh, parang hindi ka pa rin, nandun ka pa rin eh. You're just a 24-year-old in that 16, 17-year-old body. Ang tagal na nun. Yeah! It's been like 7-8 years. And unfortunately is vilified din ang delayed reporting sa Pilipinas. I've experienced it myself and I've come in knowing na hindi ako seseryosohin. Hindi ako seseryosohin kasi sobrang tagal kong naghintay. And I came in there with fragmented memories. So parang, alam niyo yun, parang hindi na siya viable. Parang, kumbaga, if I pursue a case now, hindi siya viable. Kasi naalala ko lang yung last time eh. Multiple yan. And nakaka-guilty din yun. I feel guilty not remembering everything. And gusto kong, honestly, gusto kong i-unlock yung part na yun. Gusto kong ma-access yun. Yung parte na yun ng buhay ko. Kasi it is a part of me. It is a part of my story. And the way that I could only tell that story is when I know how that story goes. And I write how it ends. And it's gonna be a lifetime of reclaiming that. Of really telling that the way that I see it, the way that I feel it. And na gusto kong maipakita na ito yung ibang side. It's not always the ones that you see on the news. My experience is not the ones that you see on the television or hear on the radio or read about online. It's not that kind of case. But it is real. And this is the unfortunate aspect of trauma na hindi alam ng mga tao, na I'm kind of hoping na alam niyo maintindihan nila, marinig nila. And para sa akin okay na yun kasi yun yung kwento ko eh. And I should be the one to tell that story. Medyo kinakabahan ako for the consult kasi it will be my first time going alone. hindi ko first rodeo on a psych consult, pero first time kong magko-consult doon mag-isa. And honestly, I gotta commend myself for even taking this step kasi hindi siya madali. Pero alam ko sa huling at the end of this, I'm hoping that there would be answers to questions that I've had in my mind the whole time. And yun lang naman yung hanap ko eh. Hindi ko kailangan na meds. Hindi ko kailangan na... Honestly, ayoko ng meds. Ang gusto kong malaman ay sagot. Gusto kong malaman ano ba tong na-experience ko. Ano ba yung aking... ano ba yung aking... pinagdadaanan ngayon? Is it warranted? Or, alam niyo yun, parang, is it a common experience, or is it, is it not normal? Like, why do I have these kinds of thoughts or emotions, whatever? Why do I have these kinds of reactions? And yun lang naman eh. I don't need to be medicated. I just want to know the answers to a lot of questions that I've had. And hopefully, like, when I know the answers is I figure out the next step and I figure out where to go from there. And okay na yun. Okay na yun. Like, I don't need anything else talaga. Gusto ko lang talaga malaman yung mga sagot sa napakarami kong tanong. At sana hindi na ako mag-guilty doon, no? Sana hindi ko maramdaman na guilty ako doon. Kasi ramdam ko yung guilt. Ramdam ko yung hiya. And I hope there will be a time na it would probably be easier to tell the story. I hope na sana hindi maulit yung mga reactions na yun. And sana mas madaling magkwento. Yun. Sana mas madaling magkwento ng mga ganong pangyayari. Para sa akin, para din sa ibang tao. At sana mas receptive din yung mga tao pag napakinggan nila to. Yun lang naman yung aim ko. I don't really want to like do much. But to really be heard. But to make that story be known. To tell that story on my own terms. That's all that there is. That's all that needs to happen. And I will be the one to tell that story. Ayun. Oh my God. Medyo dapat nga tatapusin ko na eh. Pero, I'm so sorry guys, but maraming salamat sa panonood. Or rather, pakikinig sa episode na to ng Middle East Midnight Sessions. And I guess I'll see you in the next one.